Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On the Paint Table. This is my weekly show where you see what I got done, what I'm working on, and what is coming up. So this week, I finished off some more models for Warhammer Quest Cursed City, some more models for my WinterFor army for Infinity by Corvus Belli, and also did some digging around and cleaning to try and get my Make It Happen March project that ended up being painting an entire Warhammer Quest box started. If you didn't catch it yesterday, I put a video up with some pleas for help to get me organized and inspired to get this project underway. And I also assembled and base coated all the rest of the miniatures from Cursed City and did some airbrushing just to get them all base coated and started. So I'll show you what got done and what is coming up. So first things first, here is my next couple heroes and the big bad villain, the Vargskier for Warhammer Quest Cursed City. I got two villains left, some undead cats and a couple heroes, and that whole box is going to be painted. So this is Glario Van Alten III. He's the youngest Van Alten kid. The triplets are actually the three vampires. They're one of the bosses in the game that are your brothers and sisters, basically, that he's trying to go kill. He's trying to reclaim his family estates and also the city. He was base coated with Imperial Hobbies Highlands with my airbrush and then painted up through a variety of different colors to give him pretty much the box art paint job. He's got his metal plating on his armor there, his cool dueling pistol, noblesse, his rapier there, and his cool jacket. He's got a cool flight jacket almost. And then, and some Deadlands tufts from Army Painter and some... It's Sterling Mud, or Sterling Battlemire, sorry, on the base. Dry brushed up through a red-brown and a beige. And then this is Cleona. She's the Prophetess of Doom of the Cult of the Comet, who basically is the one that predicts the calamity and goes to try and fight the vampire. She's got some cool... She was also painted from a red. This was whatever the Imperial Hobbies are, dark umber, I think it is, a burnt umber or something like that. No, not umber, auburn, a dark auburn that Imperial Hobbies also does. I'm really enjoying their liquid pigments through my airbrush, giving nice, clean, solid base coats. And then she was painted up in this much the same way. But I think that's Wild Red or Red up through for the reds there, and then a base coat of Gray Seer blended up through White Scar for all the white parts. And then the gold is Auric Rune Gold, I think, or Auric Brass maybe, washed and then highlighted up through the standard gold. And my Vargskier, also with that Highlands as a base coat, and then blending up a sort of rotting flesh kind of green and beige to give him some kind of highlights in the musculature there. And then actually I did all of the flesh by making my own contrast paint with some contrast medium, some Doombo Brown, washed into all of where the wingy parts are. And when that dried, then using some Bugman's Glow, and then I think it's Cardic Flesh from P3 blended in. Much the same for the hair. I actually used dried bark with some contrast medium to make a wash, and that way you can do that nice airbrushing and then use the base tone to do all your base coats for everything else too. So it keeps the tones in the models sort of consistent. I did black for the nails and then highlighted them with red just to give them sort of a cool almost contrast thing where all of the nails and stuff were a dark color where the skin was all light color. And then the base again was Sterling Battlemire, dry brushed up through some red browns with kind of a Blanchett-y kind of color scheme there. If you leave the dark Sterling Battlemire in the middle when you do your dry brushing, you get that cool shadow effect. A lot of people ask how that is. That's not just a camera trick. That was intentional. So there's my next three Warhammer Quest models. And then I painted up some more stuff for my Panos WinterFor. These are the Svartalheim dudes. And they were again airbrushed with my Imperial Hobbies Greatcoat Gray. All the details then painted in, and then give it a light wash with some thin down Nuln Oil gloss. I get that red effect in the middle by washing down. Again, I use that same wash I used on him, actually. Just a bit of Doombo Brown mixed with some contrast medium, and then washed in the recesses to kind of give it that kind of red glowy effect. Got the Boig Troop, or Boig Soldier. Boig Troop? I think it's Boig something. And then a Vargar. Security Force. He is amazing. Super jumping like his little rocket boots. He's got the Super Mario boots from the Super Mario movie. John Leguizamo jumped around in those. And Bob Hoskins with Super Mario. Wow, that's a deep cut from my brain right there. And he's the Spitfire, the missile launcher. I wish I had the Mark 12 one of him. Mark 12 would be really cool. And the K1 marksman rifle profile for this guy's amazing. And then a Sierra with one of the new sculpts of the Pano drones. And that let me play a new list this week for my WinterFor. And here's what's left to paint from Cursed City. I got Radicurl airbrushed up, Torgilius airbrushed up. You can see this is actually that Highlands brown. It just gives a nice warm undertone of brown to everything that you can see, I think just ties the whole like set together when I'm done. And I kind of just focus on anything that's going to get painted metallic gold, or any of the parts are going to be like warm color, like the flesh and stuff. Same with her. And then I did Radicurl. On top of that, I airbrushed his cloak and his flesh, his big like wolf cloak and his flesh and stuff, which I'll then go and change up with highlights, as well as his pants and his base. Just give him some little extra details that I'll go and neaten up later on. Torgilius is just done in, he's like a green. He's a bit busy for airbrushing. I could probably have airbrushed his cape, but I didn't bother. I'll do it all by hand. With his puppy, his bird, his rat, because he's the one that's been in stocks and then has like his little informants basically. He's kind of a spy master as well as a necromancer. And these little idiots are just, these are the strays. They're zombie cats, and there's one event where they fight. So this was like we had room on the frame, so we put these guys in. Here's these cool little, they're fighting over like a dead rat. And you can paint them up for like when the one event happens, they actually show up on the board and then disappear. So I managed to get my hands on one of the last ones of these. This guy got out of print fast. He's not available on the GW site anymore, but I found one. There's like a local online shop that happens to have a local game store that happens to have an online shop, and I was like basically just sifting through those to try and see if I could find one unbuilt, because I had a whole bunch of these, but I need to build him. That build right there is the way that the limited edition character card that comes with the book is. And I'm really hoping someone has that card and can either find me a picture of it or send it my way, because I want to be able to use him in the game at some point. And last but not least, this pile of stuff needs to get built and painted. So if you didn't see it, I did a shout out this week, yesterday actually, asking for people to write me an army list. I don't want to have to think about this. I just want some instructions at this point. I've been sitting on this project and Cursed City like jumped in front of it in the queue. But I've been dying to paint this, and having painted all the undead stuff and painted my Vargskir, who will be part of this army, I have like a nice quick and dirty airbrushing method for most of the skin for the ghouls and stuff, which is like the majority of the painting. So I'm good to go. Painting wise, I got it locked in. I need to like make up my mind as to what I'm actually building. So if you go up in the cards, the video should appear like now-ish. You can go and write me an army list in Azer and post it, and the one that's the most up thumb next week on Friday will be the one that I build and paint. So you got on the paint table, done, and on the books. We've got a bunch more models left to do, obviously for Cursed City, which I'll probably go through as I play through decapitation missions. Once I get everybody to level 2 to go do the decapitation runs, I'll be doing 2 back-to-back, which is Halgrim and Gorslav, the Gravekeeper, or Cryptkeeper. And then I'm just going to skip ahead levels, because I'm not going to make 7,000, like, it'll be 2 videos in between each one. So for the 4 or 5 remaining boss fights, we're talking about 5 boss fights and then 2 videos between each boss fight, which means 8 more videos, because you finally get to level 4. And that's going to be another 12 videos just to get to the last fight. I'd rather just do it in 4, I think, after that. But it gives me the ability to demonstrate like the leveling up process and how to pull your heroes through the levels to get to the end. And we'll just skip to the boss fights when it all comes down. That way, when the expansions start coming out, the series will be aired, and you guys can watch me play through the expansions and stuff too. So anyway, big thanks for watching. We'll see you next week to see what gets done. Till then, I'm Ash. Happy gaming. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to support the channel, of course, like and subscribe and hit the little bell below so you get notifications when I post future content. I do post stuff 7 days a week. If you want to support the channel further, you can, of course, buy a t-shirt through Spreadshirts, buy a measuring gauge or objective markers from Death Ray Designs, or, of course, most importantly, there is Patreon. Patreon is what makes all this possible, keeps the lights on, pays for the studio costs, pays for the equipment, model costs, and everything else, and most importantly, puts food in my kids' bellies and a roof over their heads. Big thanks to everyone, past, future, who supported me. I do this stuff because of you guys, and of course, I will continue doing it as long as I can.